Before we continue, I want to invite you to join my free Facebook community, The Gluten-Free Engineer. It's a space where you can connect with others living gluten-free, ask questions, swap tips and recipes, and get support from people who truly get it. Whether you're newly diagnosed or a seasoned gluten-free pro, you'll feel right at home. Just search The Gluten-Free Engineer on Facebook or click the link in the show notes to join. All right, now back to the show. Quick reminder before we get started on this episode. This podcast is based on my personal experiences and isn't medical advice. Today, I'm sharing one of our favorite family traditions, and that's beach vacations. But if you're living that gluten-free lifestyle like we are, you know vacations can come with a whole new layer of planning. It's not just about sunscreen, flip-flops, packing the perfect bathing suit. It's about staying safe and making sure we don't get glutened, and still getting to relax and enjoy the trip and enjoy some food adventures. From what we pack in the car to what kitchen items we bring along to the condo, I'm going to walk you through exactly how we prepare to make sure our vacation is fun and stress-free. So whether you're heading to the beach, the mountains, or just going away for the weekend, this episode is going to be packed with tips to help you eat well, feel great, and avoid any mid-trip gluten surprises. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Gluten-Free Engineer podcast. I'm your host, Carrie Saunders. In 2011, I was diagnosed with celiac disease, a moment that changed everything. But I was determined not to let it hold me back. With my 2 engineering degrees, I set out to reverse engineer the gluten-free lifestyle, breaking down recipes, safety tips, travel hacks, and everything in between to rebuild a life I love. Whether you have celiac disease, gluten intolerance, or simply choose to live gluten-free, this podcast is for you. Join me each week as we simplify the gluten-free lifestyle, make it fun, and prove that you don't have to miss out on anything. Welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about being gluten-free on vacation, particularly what we like to do for our gluten-free Myrtle Beach vacation that we do every year. We love to go to Myrtle Beach every year in the summer with our kids. My husband and I have been doing this since when we were dating back in high school. I would go with his family on a beach vacation, and he had been doing it since he was a little kid, and his dad since he was a little kid. So their family tradition is to go to Myrtle Beach pretty much every single year. So whenever we found out that I had celiac disease, and then later, not too long after that, about a year or so after that, found out our oldest had celiac, and followed by a few more years later, the other 2 having celiac, our beach vacations changed a lot. We needed to make sure that we were having fun, enjoying our time there, but also being safe. We didn't want to get accidentally glutened, obviously, when you're on vacation, because you want to have fun and feel good on vacation, and you want to be able to enjoy it. And we're going to be talking about how do we plan ahead so that we can relax and enjoy our vacation. And we've applied this to our even longer trips to Orlando, Florida, to Universal Studios or Disney. And that's about a 12 to 15 hour drive from where we live, depending upon what time of day you actually drive down there, versus our beach vacation. It's about an 8-hour drive. It used to be 11 hours, but they have a lot better roads now. So how do we do this? First off, we plan ahead. And then to make this simple, what I encourage you to do is make a list of what you need and what you're going to take with you, and keep that list so that every time you go on vacation, you can look at your, trusted items that you always want to bring, that you always need to bring, and just adjust it for wherever you might be going in case it's a different location. But we started when the kids were little, even before we had celiac and knew that we probably had celiac, but before we knew we had celiac, we had that trusty list of what to pack so we didn't forget their essential toys, sunscreen, toothbrush, toothpaste, all those things. But then as we found out that we were celiac, we started adding on essential items like food and kitchen items that we're going to bring with us. So having that list helps reduce the stress of going on subsequent vacations so that you are making sure you aren't forgetting something. So we want to make that list so it's not overwhelming. It just helps you prepare a bit more. So one of the things that I love to do is I love to, when we're going on a road trip, shop at home. I do this for a couple reasons. One, I don't want to waste my time on vacation shopping. It just seems silly. I want to enjoy my vacation. Two, usually on those vacation touristy places, the groceries are more expensive than at my house. So I'm saving a bit of money. And three, I don't know whether my, tried and true gluten-free items are going to be available in those stores. So it kind of helps reduce the stress by, preparing and bringing those food items along with us so that we don't have to waste our time and potentially money and maybe not be able to find what we need. So we always grocery shop before we go. We have collected over the years, several different coolers, and we even know that they'll make it all the way to Florida, a full day trip, 12 to 15-hour drive trip. So once you get experience doing this, you can do it, even easier next time. So pack that cooler, bring the things that you like. For us, we have specific eggs that we love here locally that we get from a farmer that doesn't feed their chickens soy or wheat. So we tolerate them a lot better. So we even bring eggs with us, and they're more sturdy than you think. We will bring our favorite grass-fed butter too. Again, that way I don't have to, shop and try to find it at a store. And so a tip on the butter is if you're traveling, say more than 4 or 5 hours or so, or even if it's a short trip, freeze it. Freeze it before you go. Butter is really great to freeze and refreeze. It really just tolerates that. So freeze something like that. You can also make sure that you're bringing your favorite gluten-free granola bars. We like to pack in our coolers, our lunches. So we don't even have to stop for lunch. We just stop for bathroom breaks and gas, and that's it. So we don't even stop and go out to eat on the way. We will pack lunch meats and gluten-free bread and usually some fruit. We'll pack beef jerky that's gluten and soy free. We might pack some gluten-free safe nuts for protein. So we like to pack a decent amount of protein for the trip down. It's going to keep you fuller longer and you're going to feel more satisfied. And so we like to, lean towards that more protein snack. We do have, the gluten-free bread and the granola bars to help us out too. And we do need a bit of carbs because, our bodies do function on carbs as well. So make sure you're packing a good variety that works for your body. My body personally needs more protein than most of the rest of our family. So I know I need to have those heavy protein snacks with me. We also will pack, if we're going to a condominium, and we're actually Marriott Vacation Club owners, we will, so we travel to condominiums a lot because it's, just built into our package and it's a lot cheaper for us that way. And we will take certain essential pans, our favorite egg frying pan, our favorite cutting board and knife. So the things that you would worry about in a condominium having cross-contamination potentiality in the vessels. So we'll bring things like that. We even have a special toaster, just a cheap toaster that we take with us so that we can toast our bread safely and so that we aren't using the toaster that's in the condo. Sometimes we bring our air fryer. We're a little bit crazy. We sometimes bring our air fryer because our kids love gluten-free chicken strips and it's just an easy way to do it. So we will sometimes bring our air fryer too. So we might go a little bit overboard. I will admit that, but it's the things that we like. It's our comfort things. So look at what you use on a daily basis in your own kitchen and see what makes the most sense to take with me. What's going to make it easier for me. You also are going to want to consider bringing, like cooking utensils like spatulas or spoons, just in case the place you're going to has wooden or plastic ones that can hide gluten in it. Now, I do know that the Marriott Vacation Club areas that we go to, they have thankfully stainless steel spoons, so we don't have to bring quite so many cooking utensils as far as that goes, because they do tend to clean up very well and don't have the cross contact in there. And we also love to bring, a packet of foil, like aluminum foil. So if you get in a pinch, aluminum foil is a great way to save you from that cross contact. You can put it on, the cooking vessel you might be using on the stove or on a grill or in an oven or on a sheet pan that they might have. It's a great way to have an extra layer, a barrier for any cross contact. So we like to have foil with us just in case we need to use it to protect things. Now, if you're going to a place that's not that you're afraid they may not have cleaned it well, make sure you double wipe down everything and make sure there's, you're minimizing what gluten might be left behind there. And then I like to research restaurants ahead of time. Now, when we're going to Myrtle Beach, we've been there for years. We obviously will double check the restaurant still has a good reputation. So we already have our favorites. But when you're going someplace new, I like to research restaurants ahead of time. We make a list of our top ones we want to go to. We'll use the Find Me Gluten-Free app to double check, recent reviews on how celiac safe they are, and then use that for our adventures. When I was researching for this next upcoming Myrtle Beach trip, I found this dedicated gluten-free ice cream shop. So we were super excited to try it. They have pineapple ice cream, and we all love pineapple. So we're super excited to try that. So doing that planning ahead can get you even more excited for your upcoming vacation. So try to view it as not a chore, but as an exciting way to explore new places that will be safe to eat. So we also make sure that when we do go to the restaurants that are not dedicated gluten-free, we want to make sure we tell the server that we have a gluten allergy is what we usually do, or celiac if they tend to understand that word. But I find gluten allergy tends to resonate more with most servers. And many times they will bring a manager over to talk to us and make sure that we are safe. You can make sure you ask for hidden gluten potentials, whether the fryer is shared, whether the cooktop is shared with other gluten areas, whether they have a gluten-free prep area or not, whether they will change their gloves or not. So ask your standard questions when you are going out to eat, especially in mixed restaurants. And many times when we go on these vacations, we eat in a bit more than we eat out anymore. And honestly, one, it's more fun sometimes because we're all sitting around the table in our condo and having a good time. And two, we're saving money. Now, another thing we do too is my kids absolutely love my gluten-free chicken casserole. I've talked about this before on the podcast. It's one of their favorite things. So what I will do a few days before vacation is I will make somewhere between 1 and 3 of them. Sometimes my youngest convinces me to make him 2 and the rest of the family 1. But honestly, they all share all 3. But I will make them ahead of time because when you're making that recipe, making more than 1 is not much more effort than just making 1. And so we'll make it ahead of time. I'll put it in the freezer, in our deep freezer, a day or 2 before we leave. So it gets deep frozen. And that treats like an ice pack on the way down. So that helps, 1, keep our food cold, and 2, it preserves it for whenever it is time to have that, gluten-free chicken casserole on our vacation. And the kids actually look forward to that meal. That's one of the things they're like, oh, are we having chicken casserole, Mom, on vacation? That's something they look forward to. So find a favorite meal like that might be maybe something that's a little bit more effort and you don't do it every day at home, but it travels well, like this gluten-free chicken casserole. You can find the recipe on our website at theglutenfreeengineer.com, and find some fun ways to also eat in. We'll eat in dinner, but then maybe we go out for dessert and find a great ice cream shop. So mix it up and find some fun ways to have a great gluten-free beach vacation. We also have small coolers that we take with us so we can take them to the actual beach so that we're not running back into the condo to get lunch or to have snacks. We know we have safe things to eat when we're away from the condo and out, on the beach. So think about, how do you normally do your vacation? How would you slightly adjust it to make it more convenient, gluten-free, and look at it as an opportunity and a fun way to make your vacation much more enjoyable. And when you do go on vacation, we always want to make sure we pack stuff for emergencies. So we always bring digestive enzymes, and we will take them before and after a meal when we're at a restaurant that has a mixed kitchen. Even though we might think that they're very careful, we do that just in case. You might want to bring some tummy soothing teas in case you do get glutened. You might want some pain relievers or anti-nausea medicines in case you get glutened. These are things I like to pack just in case. Maybe some electrolyte packets if that helps you recover from being glutened. And you might want to have some gluten-free snacks, obviously for recovery, just in case. But when I do the other things I talked about earlier in this episode, usually we don't need these emergency recovery type things, but I always like to have them just in case, because nobody wants to run out to the store to get these things in an emergency if somebody is feeling sick. So always pack these with you. Then you're always set in case something does come up. So with a little planning, gluten-free beach trips or road trips can be very enjoyable, potentially even more fun and lower stress than it was before your diagnosis of celiac or before you found out you were gluten intolerant. And you deserve a vacation where you don't have to stress over every meal, and it's absolutely doable. And we have so much fun on our trips, and I hope you do as well. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Gluten-Free Engineer. If you found value in this story, please share it with someone who might need encouragement on their own gluten-free journey. For more tips, recipes, resources, and even links to my YouTube channel, head on over to theglutenfreeengineer.com. It's your one-stop hub to make gluten-free living simple, fun, and full of flavor. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on an episode. And we will see you next week. The Gluten-Free Engineer podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. I share my personal experiences and stories about living with celiac disease and navigating a gluten-free lifestyle. This podcast does not provide medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional for medical questions, concerns, or advice specific to your health. This episode is brought to you by Find Me Gluten-Free, your go-to app for discovering safe, gluten-free dining options wherever you go. Whether you're traveling or just looking for a new local spot, this app helps you find restaurants with gluten-free options, read reviews from other gluten-free diners, and avoid risky places, just like our family has used this app for many years. And here's the best part. Just for the Gluten-Free Engineer listeners, you can get an exclusive $5 discount on a premium membership. Head on over to theglutenfreeengineer.com/Find Me Gluten-Free, or check the show notes to grab your deal and make dining out stress-free, because eating out gluten-free shouldn't be a guessing game.